I say to you as a colleague, thank you for what you're doing, but the sooner we can get to the issue of really changing it, the better off it will be for our own children. And that's what I'm after. That's what I want to do. And every time this discussion comes up, I get excited about the issue because we have to address it. And I know what you're trying to do, and I just hope we can get to what's right for the kids. And thank you very much for what you're doing.
Are you satisfied with my answer, or can I give it now? Can I? Okay. Senator Harms is on the same page I'm on, but I am in a unique situation. The children and their welfare are my primary concern. But before I can even get to that, there are other impediments that have to be removed. Under the current system, there is no local control for non-white or poor children and their parents until they are given a stake in the education of their children, meaningful input in the curriculum, the hiring of personnel. There is not going to be an improvement in education because the ones doing the education are not accountable to the community. They are the flunkies of the central administration and are supposed to carry out those wishes and not see to the education of their children. If OPS is divided into 3 districts, there will not be this multiplicity of assistant superintendents making over $100,000. There'd be a savings there immediately. Money could go into instruction and the classroom. I'm not even convinced that you have to have tiny classrooms as far as the number of children. You first have to make sure that the ones who are teaching are capable of doing so. There is no way in Nebraska to hold teachers accountable. There's no way that a principal can say, you're dropping all of these incompetent teachers in my building and I can't do anything with them. I want something to say about the people who teach here, and the administration will say, no, you don't, because this old mossback has been here a long time and doesn't want to be in your school. That one wants to be there, and what you say means nothing. So until we can get through some of these impediments, we will never reach the point where the children are going to get quality education. Local control, parental involvement and input, respect for the parents, respect for the community, respect for the children, expectations.
Time.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Chambers and Senator Harms. Senator Howard, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Those of you who were here last session would remember that LB 1020.
Senator Chambers, Senator Howard has yielded her time to you, 3:50.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Howard. Let me elaborate briefly on what I had said as my time ran out that Senator Harms had given me. I think the legislature has a responsibility to build accountability into the system. But I don't want us to get caught in what I would call a trap of making a laundry list of specific things that teachers are going to do. We can set out subject matters that have to be taught. We can talk about the qualifications that teachers must have. But in the classroom, I wouldn't want us to dictate specifically what a teacher must do. I want teachers, first of all, to be qualified in their subject. So presume that to be the circumstances and judge everything I say in light of that. The teacher must develop an understanding of the students in his or her classroom and tailor what is being presented to those children so that they can learn what they need to know, what they ought to master at that grade level. But until we can create that accountability where teachers are concerned and principals are concerned, we as a legislature could make a laundry list of 100 items and not one of them would be implemented all of them could be thwarted, and as long as there's no accountability, the children continue to be lost. There have been too many generations of poor white children, non-white children, lost. White educators know how to educate because they're educating white children in the favored areas. However, testing in the 70-some-odd percentile is not good results as far as I'm concerned. Even the white children are being cheated. But I have to be concerned first about those where there's the greatest need, where the sick are found. That's where the physician should go. And the priority ought to be those who are most ill, who are in the greatest need of ministrations of a physician. So I constantly talk about those children who are placed at the bottom of the barrel, because when we raise the bottom of the barrel, we raise everything else that's in it. I know this is a complex matter, but as long as the governor, the attorney general, and the courts can keep in abeyance a law which has provisions that will help address these issues, namely local control, what we do is going nowhere. Bills pending in the Education Committee are drafted with LB 1024 in contemplation. Since that is the law, if there are to be tweakings of that law, amendments have to be made to those statutory provisions. That's why I say we need judicial guidance. Let the Nebraska Supreme Court tell us, is 1024 constitutional? Is it not? If it's unconstitutional, I want to know. Then I know from where to go from here. But if it is constitutional, then we can do some tweaking, because we do have the framework, we do have the structure, and we know that we're on firm footing. But the way things are now, nothing of consequence can be achieved. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Mr. Clerk, please record.
38 ayes, no nays, Mr. President, on the advancement of LB 231.
The bill does advance.